I said I would talk about what I imagine token holders might want to vote for. And this also has to do with a voter interface. And I haven't seen any voter interfaces yet. I'm hoping to see some. And I want to start with what I imagine a good voter interface might be. Very first question I want to be asked when I'm going in to vote is, what geographic buckets I want to use. And there should be an array of them, like there should be the 6 continents, 8 regions, maybe, I don't know.
Religious.
I don't know about that. Could be continents divided by political regime. And I'll pick one. Let's say I pick the 6 continents, right? Okay, great. And it'll list the 6 continents on the screen. And the next thing it should ask me is, what is the greatest concentration I'm willing to have of block producers in a single continent, a single one of these buckets? And I probably shouldn't go more than 6, because 7 or more, remember, we need 15 of 21 to achieve finality and to sign things. So if 7 were undermined, you'd only get 14 signatures remaining. So 7 might be too much concentration. So 6 might be my cap. So let's just say it'll be less than or equal to 6 in each bucket. And then, so one of these is going to, it's not a continent, let's just pretend it's China. And China's got like 800 block producer candidates. It's a huge number, right? But I said I'm not going to go for more than 6, right? And so here's this list of all those Chinese block producers. But I already said I'm not going to go for more than 6 from any one area, including China. Oh man. And so in 7th place, I'll have to find out some way that what do I value? I'll cover that in a second. I'll order and arrange this list based on my criteria and some information from various people. But this person in 7th place, he might be better than everybody else in the entire planet, but he's not better than these 6. And I already said I don't want too much concentration. And so you could see a very harsh situation here where all these promising block producer candidates just don't get elected because of a preference to not have geographic concentration. I don't know. This is the interface I want. So maybe in Africa, there might only be like 3 really good ones. And so I couldn't pick 6 even if I wanted to, but I picked 3 from Africa, 6 from China, North America, South America, Europe, Australia. And at some point, I've got my 30, right? And so if it's 6 continents, I've got 30. I'm probably voting on average for 5. I filled my bucket with 6 with China. I only have 3 in Africa. Ooh, that's too bad. So I get 6, 6, 6, 6. And that takes me to 29, let's say. Well, I said 6, right? I don't want any more than that. So I'm kind of stuck. So that's just how I vote.
This is a little bit, out of date in my mind.
Okay.
So because we need to understand that Chinese block producers, they are super like hardcore working, right?
Oh yeah.
So they can move there.
Oh, they could move geographically to some other place.
Exactly. Those Chinese can
be a Chinese team, but your server's in South America. You're a South American block producer now. Congratulations. Hola. And boom, great. So there you are. You're in South America.
Right.
Beautiful. That's a great way, and you're going to serve the chain really well when you do that.
Right.
Especially if you can promise that it's the South American rules that you'll be following.
So another thing about template, there could be multiple templates, but super hard. there can be multiple templates, for example, geography location, server location, religious, religious or laws, system.
Yeah, political regime.
Yeah, or whatever you want. But this is something to maybe it's a good way to begin with, and maybe a good way to begin with. I saw some exchanges working on it.
More inclusive. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but anyway, it's in my view there can be many versions of templates, for voters. I think the most use for such templates is not an app alone, but it's the interface is mainly used by the exchange. So you don't worry about your private key while you're voting. If an average token holder, we started by what token holder wants.
Right.
So average token holder won't, for probably hundreds, thousands of EOS tokens, they input that private key in a screen. I don't think it's going to be. So this is the best for exchange to adopt. If we got multiple templates, rather than with very tiny words or disclaimers from exchange saying your token with us, we will vote, in proxy of you. That's not what we want.
Yeah.
So I wrote this on the voting process piece.
Yeah, you wrote an article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On exchange voting, we think exchange voting do have good part. Especially they are like most applicable tab. In the short run could be, but for average token holder, it's really hard. It's even a lot of related, security issue. Why you want to import your private key again in some website? So this one can doing good with exchange. Maybe we provide some templates, to exchange. Maybe, I don't know. It's just a way, to think about it. So diversification is the key, which is good. So how we, diversify it, how we provide the templates to the exchange, that's the key. Not templates to the average users. I think there can be three kinds of token holders if we talk about. One are those big whales. So they can, have much more sophisticated in their, personal agenda, than this one. So the second is what I mentioned about exchange users. Yeah. They are the one who really need it. Yeah. The third part is token holder, smaller, very average token holder. But I don't know. I don't know how we can ask them to come out and vote. That's some question, I really, I think about.
Yeah, how do you reach token holders? How do you even find them, let alone appeal to them to get them to vote for you? I think it's a great question. Okay.
So maybe there could be a proxy tab.
I'm only finding, in this model, I'm only finding 6 here. There's only 29 that I can find that meet my criteria that I'm willing to vote for. So I undervote in this case.
Yeah.
Right. So what are the criteria in addition to geography that people might care about? The token holders might care about. And again, this is my best guess as just a guy. I think there's three major points. These are the three elements of trust that I recommend John Blakey's book.
Mm-hmm.
The Trust Executive, he talks about this in detail. The first has to do with the ability to execute. To get it done. That's the technical skill. It's more than that. We've all known technicians who they're smart, but they just can't seem to get their act together. This is both. You're technically skilled and show up and get the work done. Mm-hmm. You are a get it done person. So that's one thing. We want to see that in our block producers. Number two is integrity.
Mhm.
And for us, in our world, is transparency, honesty, keeping your word. Your words and your deeds are the same. There's not a gap between your word and deeds. That's huge. And then number three is benevolence.
Yep.
Which I suspect, and again, this is just me personally, this is going to be things like creating public goods, like open source software, like and this is controversial, by the way, what I'm about to say, supporting media. Because this is risky. On the one hand, these media reports are very beneficial to everybody, but if you pay for it, might you be skewing the coverage because, oh, you're generous, you gave a lot of money to EOS Go or Koreos or IMEOS, and then they say nice things about you. Did you just purchase good coverage? Ooh, that's wicked. So I think maybe supporting media can't be on the list for that reason. So other forms of public good, like education,
That's a good one.
meetups, all the things we're seeing block producers do today to expand the ecosystem, DApp support, at least in the short term. And a lot of block producers are actually actively helping other block producers technically.
Right.
And so if I help somebody else with their technical skill, that helps me because I don't want to have to go out and make blocks with some idiot who doesn't know what he's doing. Because you kind of need other block producers to have their act together. You can't carry it all yourself. So you're helping yourself and the community when you help other block with their technical skill. But it also shows, wow, you're really skillful and you look really benevolent when you help other people with their technical issues. Yeah, and yet I'm talking to you, EOS Sweden and EOS Canada, among others. Crypto Alliance.
Yeah.
Are a few. We're doing a great job with that. And so the ability to execute, proving your integrity, demonstrating your benevolence, I think those are things that token holders will appreciate and would be inclined to vote for. Maybe.
Especially for the long run.
Yeah.
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 But in the short time, everything can happen.
Yeah. And then of course there's, and then there's people who just vote, whimsically, or they vote. Who knows? Who knows? We'll find out. Believe me, on June 3rd, we'll discover what people want.